Now, I think we all were anticipating the Robin Givens episode, but how did this episode make Robin Givens and Mike Tyson look? Let's get into it. Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tyra here with another struggle review, here to discuss Mike, episode 3, Lover. Now before we get into all the women Mike Tyson was loving on, I need you guys to drop down and subscribe to my channel and like this video. I'm going to give you guys a moment to do that, and then we're going to come back and discuss. I mean, the show is getting good. Like, I like the whole narrative, but I would be lying if I said that I didn't want more. I can use a little bit more.
Go back.
You guys have hopefully subscribed to see more of me and like this video. Let's get into this show. Now the show is like consistently good. I'm liking what's going on. I'm loving the visuals. I feel like the acting is great. I feel like Trevante Rhodes is bodying this role as Mike Tyson. But like, I feel like everything is going so fast so we can cram everything in under 30 minutes. I see that we are not lingering anywhere, significant in his life for too long. We are just dedicated one, full 30-minute episode to a portion, Customato, his mother in his childhood, and now Lover, aka, Robin Givens. And I'm sure moving on, we'll get like a Don King and, jail stint, face tattoo, I don't know, Tiger episode. I don't know, but I really think that the show would have benefited if we could have gotten more time. Everything is just moving at such a fast pace to set the tone for what's coming next when we have not had a moment to properly digest what just happened. The episode should have at least been an hour long, or we should have gotten more episodes, but I guess it's always a good thing to want more of something. Now we start off this episode with Mike Tyson being pretty much all alone. We see many of his friends have passed away. Customato has passed away. His mother has passed away, and he is pretty much left at the hands of everybody surrounding him as the heavyweight champ. He is 20 years old. He's immature, young, wealthy, naive, and horny. Mike was definitely that young dude that said all the ass that I couldn't get when I wasn't that dude. Now that I am and it's being thrown in my face, I'm fucking on everything that moves, and that's literally what we see him do for a good portion of the episode. He has the world at his feet. He is a freaking man-child with a Donald Trump budget. There are no limitations on anything, especially money and women. But when it comes to women, there is one particular one that has caught his eye. He wants to marry her. He is smitten, and he thinks she is the most beautiful woman in the world, an up-and-coming actress by the name of Robin Givens. And in this episode, we get to see everything from him wooing her, him just totally entranced by her, everything that they have in common despite them being from different backgrounds, all the way down to the most toxic, talked about, tabloid-worthy moments of their marriage/relationship. Now, as far as the actress here portraying Robin Givens, she did do well, but I don't think her performance matched up to Trevante Rhodes' performance. He is very much so selling it as Mike Tyson. All the mannerisms, the way that the subtle things, the way he's moving his neck, his body, like there is just so much resemblance. I wish the actress had a bit more like strong diction in her voice. She was very much so giving 80s Valley Girl to me, whereas Robin Givens always gave me this strong, educated, opulence, I own 50% of this company, bougie, like diction in her voice. I wish the actress gave a little bit more in that. She was a little bit more on the quiet side, whereas Robin Givens is, well, Mike, I don't know how I feel about, it's very Where's my money? Now, I was very interested to see this episode because this relationship followed Robin Givens throughout her entire career and really dictated how she got to move as an actress in Hollywood, because nobody could see her for anything more than that gold digger who, dug her nails into the champ and was trying to suck him dry. But here we do get to see different layers of their relationship. I mean, all that they could give us in 30 minutes. They do have things in common. They're young, they're in love, they like to have sex. They both have abandonment issues with their parents, the courting, the chasing, the romance. And then we get more into the negative side. Mike Tyson starting off wrong, already trying to buy her affection. Him not knowing how to love anyone properly to begin with, as well as her. Both of them are toxic. Both of them are too young for marriage, too young for a baby. This is a high profile ass relationship. So much publicity and so many eyes on them 24/7. All this unsolved childhood trauma and all this control coming up off of Robin Givens. It was doomed from the start. Now, even though their relationship was very immature and very toxic, if I had to throw my hat in the ring, I probably would have taken my ass with Robin Givens after watching this show, because who else was in his corner? Every single person around Mike Tyson is pretty much like a vulture descending up on a piece of fucking dead meat, some rodent in the street. Everybody is clamoring, sign here, put your name here, I own this, and he's just transferring over to people since Customado's death like he's some type of property. No lawyers present, no anything. Mike Tyson is just so naive and so trusting, just assuming that everybody around him has his best interest at heart, and they absolutely don't. Now, Robin Givens, on the other hand, should they have been married? Absolutely not. I love how they were just instantly married, and she's pregnant and this, that, and the third. No ultrasound, no nothing. The whole manager and whatnot knew before Mike. Just a toxic situation. Even Robin Givens not even being able to move throughout her life without her mother being there. It looks very suspect, like some strong dynamic mother-daughter duo trying to tag team and take Mike Tyson the fuck down. Like, we see an opportunity, we see that he is naive, he's very careless with his money. There's a desperation behind him from his upbringing of just wanting to clamor to be loved. There is nothing that he would not have given Robin Givens to get what he feels like he's missed out on all his life. He keeps talking about the rom-coms, the American dream. This is what I want, this picturesque perfection. And we have Robin Givens here, who is a product of her environment. She's very much so about the look, about perfection. Meanwhile, her and Mike Tyson are in this toxic ass relationship, and Robin Givens is trying to force it and make fetch happen where it is just not ready to. But what I can say about her is that, unlike everybody else, at least what she was trying to do was protect him in the realm of, well, we're married. Your money is my money. I love you, you love me. I'm gonna protect my money, our money. Like, I feel like for the most part, she did have good intentions and have his best interest at heart, but she was very much so going about it the wrong way. There's that sense of, control, entrapment, that whole maybe facade of a baby from the show. And, the things that we've heard over the years, it really seems like there was never a baby, and there was maybe just an opportunity on Robin's behalf to kind of hook, line, and sinker Mike Tyson in. Now, of course, we have him kind of tricking her in that moment into, the marriage, but then on the back end you have him saying things like, I married you because you were pregnant. Like, this was very much so a 50-50 type situation. Yes, I am in this relationship for probably the wrong reasons, the publicity, the money, the look of it. This is very Hollywood. This is helping my career also as an up and coming actress, but at the same time she does care about him. But with her kind of being underneath her mother's thumb, having that strong influence, following everything that she's learned from her, also her wanting to be that perfect couple in the tabloid, and Mike Tyson definitely not being the guy to do that. He is not ready at this point. He is not not mature. He is constantly cheating. And around this time, he is starting to do more and more drugs. From the looks of it, it's like she didn't have any knowledge of it. And she is just assuming that all of this is, displaced anger and irrational behavior. Meanwhile, he is drinking, snorting coke, and he is smoking weed. And I actually did like the fact that they didn't just, dive into showing all those things, and they just, verbally say it, and we got the just, because his ass is nodding off. He's having freaking accidents. He has, temper flares. He is punching holes in walls. Like, it is just really bad displaced anger. But you see that she is willing to deal with and ring these things in, just maybe under the umbrella that I can change him. And in the process of trying to do that and make this marriage happen, I'm going to protect our money. I'm like, how can we, just be mad at Robin Givens trying to sue people who are trying to sell him off like a piece of property? They have something in the contract to where, if I die and this person died, 50% of him is left to my spouse. Like, no, this shit is not okay. Even when we get to the dinner table and they go and visit Gus D'Amato's wife, and it's like, you're paying for everything. You don't owe these people shit. I was not mad at Robin Givens for that. Like, wrong time, wrong place. But I'm not mad at the message. Like, he just feels like he's indebted. Like, of course, it's great that they took you in and they gave you an opportunity. But when we have the wife sit there and say shit like, oh, he used to talk about you all the time, his greatest creation. I'm nobody's creation. I'm nobody's fucking Frankenstein's monster. It's so many times in the show that he is not just looked at as a man or a person. He's a machine. He's a boxer. Like, I must break you. Very much so Rocky. Like, it's a bit much. So when we have her, throwing things up in the air, like, you're so willing to, do these things and just accept, a little gravy, some affection, her smile in your face. Meanwhile, you feel indebted and you are paying for her bills and paying for her house. This is our money. I was not mad at that. Now, not only do we get into things like their relationship and we get into all this excess, all the money that is being spent so carelessly, cars, furs, homes, like, it's just all too much. And then we also get into more of the boxing side. I noticed that, once we left last episode with Gus D'Amato, there is absolutely no training going on. There is a whole bunch of sex, and there's no refraining from anything. There's a whole lot of sex, and he's still winning at this point, but he is not horning in on his craft. He is not training. None of the shit that we saw him do with Gus, last episode, that is absolutely not happening here. We are starting to slowly see a decline in his interest, and his focus is elsewhere on everything else going on in his life, and absolutely not in the ring. We also have a lot of boxing matches happening that were very, prolific for his career, but it's just not a lot of time spent there or focus, and it's just like ding ding ding, and then we move on to the next scene. But I wish we spent a little more time in certain areas, because I know when we definitely get to shit like the Holyfield fight, or we gonna spend all day in that ring, but I wanted a little bit more there. So many things are going on so quickly at once. We have her lose the baby, they're fighting. We have that strong influence coming in from a money hungry fighting promoter by the name of Don King creeping around the corner, seeing that there's a big strong opportunity for him to have that strong influence over young Mike Tyson, who is very much so attached. He soaks everything up just like he does with Gus. He is looking for that father figure clearly. So if we have this man who can make everything rhyme every 2 seconds, saying certain shit about his lifestyle and how, they're trying to control you, they're trying to dictate your money, what the hell are you here for? There's just nobody in his corner, and it's really sad to see. And in watching this, I'm like, well, damn, where is his family? Where is anybody? Where are the siblings? Where is a cousin, a uncle, somebody? Goddamn it, just anybody. Like, to be that open and not have anybody, like, that is like quite a terrible feeling. And I love when we have him say, I could, properly love her or properly have a relationship. I never was taught that, and I didn't even love myself. So how was I going to give it to her? Now, after we have their relationship pretty much fall apart, they do hint at, of course, a lot of drug use, toxic behavior. We saw a lot of it. There is, you know, a couple of hints at abuse also, but they never actually physically, you know, let us see that, or, you know, really just allude to it too much. But you can tell that there's something maybe going on behind closed doors, especially when we get into Robin's mom and, you know, hey, I've been here, I've done that, like I know what he does, I hear you guys. There's just hints at, you know, a little bit more than just the arguing that we get to see. But I love that they didn't just physically have to show Robin Givens getting punched in the face or some shit. It was just pretty much, you know, all alluded to. But the relationship is pretty much over and they are headed down that road of divorce, especially where we end off with, you know, the infamous incident in Russia that we have Mike Tyson say in the background. You know, that whole situation was blown out of proportion. Yes, I was, you know, it kind of feels like a lot of, you know, yes, I was throwing shit, breaking shit, punching walls. I was, you know, being that aggravated ass dude, but I never, you know, physically put my hands on her or hurt her mom. That whole situation was blown out of proportion, and we get to see them, you know, segue over into that infamous ass interview with Barbara Walters with goddamn Mike Tyson sitting there. Like, I just love to go watch that because he's like fuming. Like, girl, like, how dare you motherfucker sit here and talk about me like I'm not in the room? Like, yeah, so when did he punch you? How did it feel? Like, oh yeah, he shakes. And well, why didn't anybody try to stop him? Why didn't, you know, just talking about him like he is just so insignificant. Like, they don't even have to acknowledge him, and he is just sitting there like, I'm not even finna give you bitches the satisfaction. I'm just gonna sit here and give y'all the fucking death stare. Like, absolutely love it. But everybody has had, you know, their own renditions of what they think their relationship was like behind closed doors, especially based off of shit like that interview. Like, it's just, nothing was a good look. It was just horrible. Like, who greenlit this terrible freaking decision? And I believe we have him say that himself in the episode, but we end off, you know, with the divorce and her not asking for alimony, but her suing for $125 million freaking dollars. But we have him going, you know what, even though all of this shit is happening and, you know, my fairy tale fell apart, they still love me. And we have him surrounded by food, liquor, and women. The shit is slowly hitting the fan. Well, you guys, that was my review for Mike episode 3 Lover. I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure you like the video and you subscribe to my channel and you share your opinion on the show as well as my review. Did you enjoy it? Did you get some of the same vibes? What did you think about this episode? I look forward to reading you guys' comments. I see you guys next time. Bye.